magic, let's dive in.
So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the Terran's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Nat, I am doing well today. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too. Space Cowboy, welcome in. Hey Amy, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing good. Welcome in everyone. Hey Pisces, you're going to be first on my list. So make sure that you drop your question below in the chat for me. I have you down for a mini reading. I just need your question. I will also update the donation list momentarily. We have had a couple other donations come through. Welcome in, Sienna. Hey, Jazz, I have your donation question. Oh, you're about to eat dinner. I just ate dinner myself. I always have to eat before the live streams. It's like takes so much energy. I get so hungry. Hey, boss lady. Pisces, I have your question. You only have to drop your question in the chat once if you're asking a yes, no, just FYI. Hey Ari, welcome in. All right, let's do the free yes no's real quick. Mariana. Mariana, I have a yes. Queen of Cups. Sophie. Sophie, I have a no. 8 of Cups. Amy. Yes. 8 of Wands. Margaret. I'm going to say yes, Margaret. I have the Fool. Talks about new beginnings. Nat, yes. Knight of Cups. Space Cowboy. Yes. The Empress. Nannies. No. 5 of Pentacles. I hope I'm wrong. Ajaz. No. 5 of Pentacles. Mystical. Yes, the Lovers. Sweeter. No, 3 of Swords. It doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. It just means that maybe not exciting news. I don't know. 3 of Swords. Ray. I don't think so, Ray. I have an 8 of Swords. That's a no for me. Boss Lady. Thank you all for liking the stream. If you're asking a yes, no, and you haven't had the chance yet, please make sure you like the video. I have a yes for High Priestess. Or, sorry. Yes for Boss Lady, the High Priestess. You're welcome, Sophie. You're welcome, Amy, Nat, Mariana. You're welcome, Sweeter and Ray. If you have a yes, no question, just drop it in the chat. I'm going to answer for about 3 more minutes. Ari, yes. 3 of Cups. Smiley, no. 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups talks about how you're maybe feeling like there's more to be desired, like you're not fully satisfied. Sienna. I think it's heading in that direction, Sienna, very quickly. 8 of Wands, yes. Dell. Not love yet, but definitely attraction. Knight of Wands. I have a yes for Emily, Queen of Wands. You're welcome, everyone. All right, I'm going to finish out with Marta and Dwayne, and then we're moving on to donations. I have a yes for you, Marta, 8 of Wands. Dwayne, I have yes, the Justice card, okay? All right, let's update the donation list really quickly. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right. Good night, Dwayne. Hey, Pisces. Let's get shuffling for you. Well, happy early birthday. So you're like right at the end of Pisces season. I just realized. What's coming for Pisces in love? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. All right, something's coming up ahead. June is what I'm getting. Maybe like mid-June. 10 of Swords, so it's like coming in quick, Gemini season. Specifically June 11th through June 20th, but I would say any time in June. You do have a love interest coming in. I have the Ace of Cups. The reason I say it's coming in fast is because June is very quickly approaching and Swords is very fast energy. So I think that it's basically going to be like this person comes in, like one day you don't know this person and nothing is happening in your love life, and suddenly, boom, they're here, they're in your life, and I think it just kind of is like a whirlwind a little bit. Because it feels like they just kind of come out of nowhere. Like I just don't even know, even me telling you in advance that this person is coming into your life, I still feel like there's an element of surprise for you, and I feel like it's a little bit unexpected. So fire energy placements, specifically Leo, could be Aries, Sag. I also feel like this person is heavily influenced by Saturn. We have the World card here. So they could have, like, for instance, they could have like an Aries rising and a Saturn 10th house. Because Saturn's very disciplined and Saturn in Capricorn is like ultra disciplined. So I feel like this person sometimes kind of battles between like their inspiration, what makes them like excited about life and want to do things versus like what's the right thing to do, what's the smart thing to do. Aries makes this person very passionate, or like the fire sign makes this person very passionate, but the Saturn that's this person's like affected by, because I guess whatever house or whatever like sign that falls under, it kind of grounds this person and makes them a little bit more level-headed, more goal-oriented, because Saturn's ruled by Capricorn. So you might see like a lot of fire, but also some earth energy in this person's chart. They have like a pretty good balance. I will say this person has had their heart broken before, so they understand like the hurt that can occur from losing someone that's important to you, but also it makes this person a little more well-rounded because they can appreciate a good connection. They might even have a little Libra in their chart somewhere. Let's see. Tell me about this person, please. Very book smart, I would say. This person is super intelligent. Think they're looking to build a life with someone. They're looking to build a home. We have the Lovers and the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like this person's walking around feeling like something is missing in their life and that they're looking for someone to kind of help build a life with. Like I wouldn't say they necessarily feel incomplete on their own, but they do feel a void. They do feel a desire for something more with a significant other. So I feel like this person is relationship oriented, creative. I don't think this person really likes to argue too much. I think they'd rather utilize any kind of disagreements or fighting to their advantage in terms of like, how can we fix this? How can we resolve this so that we don't, like, basically he's the type of person that says like anything bad that happens makes you stronger. So he would view, like, for instance, if you guys had a disagreement in the relationship, he would view that as, how can we make ourselves better? How can we make our relationship stronger from having gone through this? And he tries not to view things super negatively. He wants to see, like, how can we rise above this? How can we make this something that really, like, strengthens our connection, and that way we never have to worry about this again. Yeah, overall, just really balanced. Coming in quick, coming in this year is what I'm getting, 8 of Wands. So that is what I have. If you have any other questions, feel free to add on. But if that answers everything for you, then we'll move on to the next person. It feels new if I were to guess. I'm not sure because I didn't ask that question. But it feels new. It does. You're welcome, Pisces. Okay, next up we have Philomena. Philomena with an in-depth question. Philomena, if you're here, check in with me, please. Hey, Philomena, what's your question? Was coming in love, decided not to give Hisham a chance, started showing his old ways. You told him you should just be friends. Is that the guy that you are working with now, or is that someone different? You have a, I'm hearing return to sender. You have someone coming back from the past. Six of Cups and Knight of Cups is here. So this is a romantic past partner that's coming back into your life. Reconciliation, Six of Cups. They're going to come back with romance in mind, with trying to connect with you in that way. Was there something going on last fall, like September or something like that, where you can, if you think back, were you connected to anyone in September? Because for some reason that's coming through. Independence was created during Virgo season. So maybe like August, September, October, something along those lines. Let's see. Where's this person coming back in? Yeah, I'm hearing like September, October. He decided to quit the job. Oh, gotcha. Let's see. Where's this person coming in? Do you have a Libra? A Libra that's in your life from the past? Or heavy Libra placements? I don't know if you'd know that answer, because you probably would have to know all of their birth chart information. Okay. They might have like a Libra stellium, for example, and you may not know that if you don't have their birth chart information. There's something to do with September, October. So if this is not ringing a bell, then maybe that means this person's coming in September, October. I can't really change the message. I can only try to help connect the dots here. But I have someone coming back into your life with romantic intentions. They are from the past. And I'm hearing September, October. Tell me more about this person. Anything else? Anything else we need to know about this person? Anything else we need to know about this person? Anything else we need to know about this person? Three of Pentacles. Okay, Pisces. Three of Pentacles could indicate that this person may have never been able to pursue a romantic connection with you in the past, and now they're wanting to change the ending to that story. So this could be someone that you had friend-zoned initially, and nothing really ever got off the ground. Another interpretation of this card is that you guys have mutual friends. It can technically mean a coworker. But essentially you have like groups of people in common, or that you never really have pursued a romantic relationship. Is there anything else we need to know about this connection? It seems like this person felt like they didn't have anything to offer to you, that you were interested in. They're showing me you walking away from them. So this would have been something that you probably like either walked away from, or decided that it wasn't for you, or like it was your choice to kind of like have no interest in this person anymore. Tell me anything else outside of this person in love. Anything else going on in love outside of this? We do have something coming in for you in the summer as well. This is a new person, it feels. What's going on with this new person? This new person. Relationship is on the table. So what I'm kind of getting is that this person comes in over the summer, and then you have another interest that is coming in at the end of summer. And so I think that you might feel at one point kind of torn between two people, or feel like maybe you're not torn, maybe you know where your head is at, but you feel like there's multiple people that are interested in you at one time, and you kind of feel like you have to make a decision about this. Person coming in over the summer is like super fun. You have a really good time with this person. Lots of enjoyment. Very, very playful, fun energy. You feel admired. You feel appreciated. Gemini season, we have the lovers. So yeah, probably like June is what I'm getting. But we don't hold me to that specifically. It could be any time over the summer. Actually, come to think of it, I think that I have told you this before already. Something June, July, August as well. Is there anything serious coming for Philomena this year? Is there anything serious coming for Philomena this year? Yes or no? Queen of Cups. So you do have a serious option here, a serious relationship that feels emotionally fulfilling for you, as well as collaborative and compatible, good communication. I see you here as the Nine of Wands, still a little bit hesitant though. But I feel like you've got a solid, serious relationship coming your way this year. If you let it, if you allow for that to happen. 10 of Pentacles. So Philomena, if you want to add on, let me know now. If not, then we'll move on to the next person. Pisces, I did get your donation. I will add you back into the list. Thanks, Amy. All right. I don't know if Philomena is going to add on. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next person. This is for Ajaz. How does Aries Dom feel about Ajaz after getting to know Ajaz? Well, I'm already seeing the Ten of Pentacles, so I feel like this is a good sign that this person has intentions to pursue you for longer. The Ten of Pentacles is a lot of times like the long-term card, signifying like long-term or enduring connections. It also talks about the feeling that Dom intends on being in your life for the foreseeable future. So basically, like, she says she's not going anywhere. If things keep going well, then she wants to keep talking to you or something like that. Like, she doesn't have any plans to go anywhere. Yeah, she was. She was. Thanks, Amy. I feel like Dom wants to move this ahead, move this along, regardless of whatever it is that she's saying to you about being in a commitment. Doesn't matter. She is definitely interested. She is a little bit concerned about how to move this forward, but she's playing with fire, is what I'm hearing. She's playing with fire. I have the Three of Wands and the Queen of Wands, and the fire's in her hand. So she's basically like kind of opening kind of a can of worms, so to speak. It feels like she should be treading more lightly, I suppose, in terms of the connection with you, because she's probably going to be in a place where she's going to get herself very confused and tied up in a very complicated situation, continuing to pursue you. Jazz, I think that there's something to be said about you as well, that you have to kind of look within yourself to want to pursue a connection with someone who's already in a commitment. I know that it's nice to be pursued and it's nice to have someone interested in you, especially if you're attracted to them and feel a connection. But the question is, why do you involve yourself with relationship or people who are in relationships or that are unavailable to you in that way? You have to wonder what the heck is going on. Because if this person, it almost feels like Dom wants to fantasize about you and wants to kind of get close to you and wants to feel wanted by you, definitely feeling like a connection. But at the same time, right. No, I get that. I understand you had no idea that this person had a boyfriend, but the question is, like, what do you want from this now that you have that information? Are you going to still try to pursue her, or are you going to let it go is the question. Cuz like what I feel is that she is like I said, playing with fire. Like, I think she's trying to get close to you. I think she's trying to see what you'll allow and how far she can take this, how much she can test this. I feel like she wants to continue this connection with you, despite the fact that she's putting herself in a compromising situation. I know. I'm so sorry. That's what's tough, Jazz, is it's like you're all for the women, right? Like, you know who you are, and you know like what you're looking for. And I am sorry that you keep being put in these positions with people who are kind of like leading you on in a way and not fully ready to give to you everything that they have. But I do think that it's within your power and within your right to say, oh, you have a boyfriend? All right, I'm done. I'm not going to pursue this. Because what's happening is, Jazz, is that you're starting to think about what what this person wants. Are they attracted to you? Like, do they want something more? What kind of connection do they have with you? What do they want with this? And it's like, you're always going to fall for these people. And if you keep putting your energy into it, even knowing the facts and knowing that this person has another connection, whether or not they have an open relationship or not, which I don't know if they do, maybe she hasn't told you, I still feel like you're going to be the one that ends up getting hurt. It's not going to be Dom, potentially Dom's boyfriend, but it's you that's going to end up being hurt. And I don't want that for you, basically. I feel like if you don't put a stop to this, she's going to keep gunning you down. Like, she's going to keep pursuing you. She's going to keep talking to you. I feel like she likes the idea of this, and I feel like she likes the fantasy of it all. And I think that she feels like being with you, near you, around you is where she's supposed to be. But she refuses to acknowledge and validate that part of herself. Do you get what I mean? Like, she thinks that she's supposed to be over here with the boyfriend, but she feels more like herself in your presence. And I don't know if it just hasn't quite clicked for her yet that this is what she wants. But there's definitely a reason that she's hanging out with you. I'm so sorry. But if this was a one-on-one, especially, I don't see the reason that a straight woman would meet a woman who's not straight and ask for a one-on-one get together just to hang out. Like, I just don't foresee that the reason for that. Now, if it was a group setting, you had a bunch of people around, okay, that could be totally innocent. But I feel like there's curiosity there for Dom, 100%. There's curiosity and questioning. And if this was like a one-on-one thing, it's not that you can't be friends with people like that. I'm not trying to like generalize this, but as a straight woman, I'm not going, and I just met a woman who's interested in women. I'm not going to ask for a one-on-one with that person because I would not want to confuse them. I would not want them to make them think that this was something that it wasn't. It was a group setting, but she made sure to come entertain me. So we're treading a little bit. I mean, it feels a little less promiscuous, but at the same time, it still is questionable, in my opinion. It's still questionable. Because what I think is happening is that she has this curiosity about you, and she's trying to see how far you will let this go. And out of protection of you and your feelings and your heart, as a reader, I can kind of feel her angle. And what's going to happen is, Jazz, is that if you try to confront this with her and you try to say, you know, is there something going on here? Like, is there like a chemistry or whatever? You put her on the spot and she's not ready for that. It's going to completely blow up in your face. And she's going to go, no, I told you I have a boyfriend. Like, what do you mean? This is so crazy. Like, I'm so sorry. Maybe I like gave you the wrong impression, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's just like, it's not going to quite work. I think until she can accept and validate that side of herself through whatever means that is, whether she says she's bisexual, or she gets an open relationship with her boyfriend, or she leaves him altogether. I truly just don't see a path forward for the two of you, because I know what you want, and I know that that's a relationship with someone that you're totally into and totally attracted to. And I just don't feel like that's where this can lead with the current circumstances that are in place right now, you know? And it sucks for you because, like, there's clearly attraction here on both sides, might I add. However, this person is just not in the position to, I don't know, give you more of herself right now. It's like you're making her a little uncomfortable, but in a way that she likes. And she doesn't really know what to do with that information just yet. she doesn't know how to handle it. I feel like just like anybody knows they're straight, they might know that they might lean a little more to one side, or they might be straight down the middle and say, hey, I'm into both. I'm into all, whatever. And I feel like she still has to figure that out for herself. She has to figure out what it is. Is she just into the attention? Does she just like the fact that you are, maybe attracted to her? Does she like the energy that you give to her? Maybe that could be it. But I just feel like unless you're up to no good, she doesn't do what she's going to do just to do it. Like, I think there's a reason behind making sure that she's going out of her way to talk to you and connect with you. And, it could be a way to feed her ego because maybe she feels the attraction from you. But I think it's more than that. And I think that's something she's got to figure out for herself. Even invited to your birthday or to her birthday. Yeah, I think that she's getting a rouse. Is that a word? I don't even know if that's a word. Yeah, regardless, rouse. That's a good word because rouse talks about feeling like excited or stimulated or whatever, like aroused. So I feel like she is getting roused. Basically, she's getting excited at the idea of being in your company again. And like I said, she's going to continue this, like inviting you to her birthday. Inviting you to her birthday is just like another encounter. It's another way to maintain contact with you and ask you to see you again. And I think that's something that's going to just continue. And either you have to say to yourself, I'll accept whatever this is, whatever she gives to me. If that's nothing, then fine. If that's everything, then great. If it's something in the middle, whatever. If you are okay with that, then you can continue and pursue this. But if you're like, no, I have standards and there's a specific thing I'm looking for, I don't think she's going to give that to you. And you're going to have to be the one to cut this off because I think that she has every intention, like I said, with the 10 of Pentacles to continue to pursue this with you. Okay. Yeah, I think you should. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not something that you can't like revisit down the line, but it needs to be with caution and it needs to be with a very different circumstance in her life. Like she has to come to you and be like, "Hey, I got to be honest, I was feeling a lot of feelings when you and I were hanging out and I couldn't really understand what it was, but it's very clear to me now that I was feeling attracted to you. And I've had like a quote unquote tower moment like in my life where I realized that I need to figure myself out. So I have distanced myself and I've, broke up with my current relationship until I can sort it out and figure out what it is that I want. And I would love to see you again. Like, I think then you could say, okay, she's getting it together. But I think until then, especially if she's in a relationship that's not an open one, you have to protect yourself, especially because you're a lover girl. And I know that you'll probably fall for this person if you continue to see them and experience them. Hey, Jazz, did you want to add on tonight, or was that everything? Yeah, you're very welcome, Jazz. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, so next up we have Pisces. You're welcome. It's always a pleasure. So Pisces, I have you added on, and it looks like a mini reading and a yes/no that you donated for. But truth be told, it could be an upgrade for an in-depth. So let me know what we're doing for you. Hey there, in depth. Okay, what's your question? Can't stop yawning. All right, Pisces. Okay. Wow, what is wrong with me tonight? IJ, yes, I am. Pisces, do you want to be a mom? I'm picking up like the desire for growth, feminine growth. Now, that could be children, expanding a family, but that could just be the desire to tap more into your feminine side, speak through having maybe a divine masculine energy that can support you in ways that you don't have to support yourself anymore. But I see with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, it's like, I want to be a wife. I want to be maybe a mom. And I have dreams in my heart and what I want. And what I'm getting from this Brian person is that this person, it's going to be hard to achieve that with them. Thank you, IJ. I feel like this person is kind of stunted in the connection, maybe stunted by themselves. And what I mean by that is they don't have the capacity to bring to you those dreams, to deliver those dreams to you. And I think that, like, I specifically asked, will this go anywhere? And I got the Tower. I'm sorry. I got the Tower and the Hierophant. And they're saying this will literally never go anywhere unless and until you guys can get on the same page about what it is that you want. The Tower is the card of chaos and destruction, and just never really feeling like your connection is on stable ground. And that's because you guys are like maybe wanting different things, or you're wanting something different from him that he's not providing, or maybe he's expecting you to be different in the connection and you're not. For whatever reason, you guys aren't seeing eye to eye. And they're basically saying that this is a no, more likely than not. But if you guys would try to work it through, you really would have some work to do. You really would have to kind of transform essentially what this connection looks like. And basically all of the old ways, all of the old values that you guys had in the connection from before, you'd have to completely rebrand like to something new. You would have to be a different person in the relationship. He would have to be, and you both would have to essentially try to find a path forward where you guys want the same things. And that's why it's going to be really complicated or really hard. And what they're saying is that right now, with how it looks, with the Four of Cups, is dissatisfaction. Like, you just can't be pleased, essentially, with this person. And that's the hard part about having such strong connections with people and having feelings for them, is because all we want to do is try to fit a circle into a square so bad, because we love that circle. We love that circle, but our dream is a square. And we were like, how do we make this work? How do I do this? And if you draw a circle and draw a square around it, you can see the corners of each of that square are empty, meaning that you are going to have to settle. You're going to have to live without something or multiple somethings that you want, that you're looking for. But if you find the square, you can fit a square neatly into a square and you feel complete. There's nothing missing. And so it's like, do you want to try to do that and potentially go without? And it's not just about you either settling and going without, but it's about him too. Because if he wants to work this through, there's certain things that he's going to have to give up that he doesn't want to, or potentially he's going to have to change some future plans for himself that maybe he wouldn't do originally, just because he really cares for you. So it's like, I feel like either way, you both are going to end up disappointed. And it's like, either you completely conform to his wants, become something that he wants, and completely disregard everything about yourself and be unhappy just to make him happy, or he has to do the same for you. Or you can be in the middle and then you're both missing out on something. So I think that it's best for right now to maybe let go of this connection. I would say that the reason why, you keep coming back to him and why he keeps popping up in your mind is just because you guys clearly did have something. You did have a connection. But I see a lot of frustration and disappointment and the need to, like, I guess I just don't want you to go without, and I don't want him to go without, and I want you to be able to march to the beat of your own drum and achieve and get everything that you're looking for, and same for him. And I just don't see that being able to happen in this connection. And you see it all the time where two people who so badly like want to be together and want to find a way to make it work, it doesn't. But I can tell you 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10, I make no guarantees here, but there's always a reason why it falls apart, because there's something else that's better that's coming along for you that feels more effortless. It feels simple. It makes you wonder why you even gave too much to one person ever again, because finding a person that you have a connection with is not hard. People do it every day. It's finding a person that has the same values, has the same desires, is putting in the same effort, etc. That's what's hard. You can have feelings and fall for anyone at any time. It's the maintaining, it's the maintenance of the relationship and the desire from both people to make that effort and make that choice every single day to choose that person and build something with that person. That's extremely difficult. I have had many, many, many different loves in my life. I've had a lot of different connections in my life that I'm like, you know what, there's something powerful here. But what's going to keep us together is the fact that we're on the same path and we want the same thing. And that was something that I could never find until now. So, it's okay to go back to that connection in your mind, and it's human. But I think for the betterment of your quality of life and fulfillment, I think it's something that would be better if you kind of let that fall by the wayside and just charge forward. Just be like the chariot and look ahead and, keep that determination about you, what you're looking for, and don't settle. And you don't have to like run into the future. You can walk, take baby steps if you need to, but I think this is a hard connection to feel like it's absolutely going to work. Like I said, I feel like I'm leaning more towards a no, and that there's something else better coming along. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, Pisces. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, let's move on to the next person. All right, Amy. Have you told him about your have you like posted at all, Amy, about your like spiritual beliefs or anything like that? Because I kind of see him thinking something along the lines of, yeah, he's like noticing that you got something else going on. So I don't know if he's seen like the altar, or if he's seen like the rituals that you do, or if you shared any part of your religion or your belief system. But I'm seeing like candles, and I'm seeing like offerings and herbs and things like that. Maybe culture, yeah. Okay, so I think that he feels like he's gaining a little bit insight as to who you are on a deeper level through these different things. I think that he feels like you're a free spirit and that you march to the beat of your own drum. You're incredibly unique, and I feel like people notice that about you across the board. I think that's something that they notice. Like, Amy is not a basic bitch. Like, Amy is very much unique in her own person, and she doesn't conform to other things. She likes what she likes, she doesn't what she doesn't, and she basically acts like herself. You might feel like you relate a lot to Jello, basically. Like, for example, a close friend of yours, you guys might share similar like mannerisms and jokes and things like that, but that's because you guys are so close. But I do feel like as a whole, when people notice you, you bring a very unique element. You are multifaceted, and I feel like that's what Luke is thinking. He's like, this is a girl that is not basic, that she has a lot of different interests, and as he learns about you, he's picking up on your sense of humor, and what he's noticed about you is that you really just like to have a good time. I think that's something that is inspiring to him, that it's like every interaction he has with you, and I think he's curious if this is how it will always be. But he's like, is this the real her, or is there something more to discover? Because he feels like every time he interacts with you, you're happy, you're smiling, you're cracking jokes, you're saying something funny, or just generally you're in a happy mood. And I think that that's very contagious. And I think that's something that he's thinking he wants to be around a bit more, because he really likes that energy and he likes that positivity that you give off. And I think too, because he is more like the sweet gentleman, laid back, reserved type, I think that that can be, something that he could potentially be attracted to down the line about you, because they say like opposites attract. Usually, a yapper marries a quiet person. You know what I mean? So it's like there's just that element of, I really like this girl. Like, I really like who she is so far. She seems like a good down to earth, good heart, but at the same time, like, I can tell that there's more to her, basically. Let's see. And I'm sure Luke overheard some of that context, like you and Elijah kind of cracking jokes and shit. He's picking up on the fact that you're more of a creative. You are analytical, you are intelligent, but I think he's picking up more on the fact that you are a creative type more than anything at all. There's also a level of humility about you that I think that he rather enjoys. Here's what am I trying to say? Because I'm trying to say this in a way that sounds positive because it is, but it's like it can if I say it just bluntly, it can sound bad. Because what I want to say is he can tell you are insecure. And when I say that, that sounds awful. But what I mean is he can tell that you don't think you're all that in a bag of chips. I don't know if you know that expression. It's from the 90s. But he feels like he looks at you and he thinks that you have humility. You are humble, you are modest. Like you don't like you give off funny and you give off clever and you give off witty, but you don't necessarily think you hang the moon. You're not super, super cocky. You're not arrogant. You're not like, oh my God, I'm such hot shit. Like nobody can touch me. Like you give off this level of like humble. And I think that's something that he really likes and he really appreciates. So for example, that One Direction song, You Don't Know You're Beautiful, I think that that's kind of the vibe. Like he feels like you have a lot going for you and that you could be, a catch, but maybe you don't realize it. Or maybe you do, but you don't like, you're not frivolous with it. You're not like peacocking all around the place and being like, everybody look at me. And you're not like, oh my God, what is the expression? You're not. What's that expression when girls are trying to constantly get the attention on themselves? It's like a term and it's completely slipping my mind right now. But yeah, you don't toot your own horn too much. Exactly. Exactly. And if you are going to brag, it's a humble one, A pick me girl. That's the expression I was trying to think of. Yeah, pick me girl. I just had to Google. Oh, you typed it in the chat. I was like, I have to Google this. Like, that's the thing. You're not like overly trying to get other people's approval or validation. Especially by putting other people down. You're not like, you're just not a pick me. And I think that's really refreshing to him. All right, let's pull a card or two for the physicality, and then you'll be all done. Wow, I must be really fucking tired tonight. Oh my goodness. He thinks you're pretty. He really thinks you're a pretty girl. I have an inside joke between me and my husband that if he was here, we would look at each other and say the inside joke. Because whenever we hear the word pretty girl, like him and you guys don't really know our relationship, but him and I, we are the queens and kings of inside jokes to the point where we have our own language. And like it was in the speeches that my brother and my sister did at our wedding, was like how we constantly have inside jokes and like nobody understands us. um so that just reminded me of that. But yeah, he thinks you're a pretty girl, you know, like he oh, you said I only playfully bully or roast, but even then I'm sweet. I don't blame you, Luna. I'm feeling it too. God, it's so ridiculous. And I took a nap. Like, isn't it such a sweet connection? It's like nobody gets it. Nobody gets me, you know? It's like partly why I married him, because I need someone who's gonna just riff with me, you know, and like play off of words and like create inside jokes. Like, for example, last night we were watching the 90 Day show, and there's a couple on there called Gino and Jasmine, and she's from, I want to say Panama. I can't remember specifically right now because she's been on multiple seasons. But she called a crocodile a cocoa drive on accident because English is not her first language. And like from now on, we're going to call crocodiles cocoa drives, because how can we not? So we're always looking for the next inside joke, and like nobody gets it. But that's our flavor of love. So that's how we show we love each other. And there's, you know, at the same time, Amy, I feel like there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why I said pretty girl, and there's a reason why I had the conversation about inside jokes, because I think it's very possible that Luke is the type of person that you could do that with. Do you know what I mean? You know, you're an air and fire sign, just like me and my husband, air and fire sign. You and Luke are air and fire. And I feel like he could be the type of person that would do that with you. Like he would have inside jokes with you and things like that. But yeah, he thinks you're like super, super pretty. Like that's the word I'm getting. He's not like hot. He's not like beautiful. He's not like sexy. He's like, she's just such a pretty girl. Like, and there's something kind of special about that, because when you tell someone that they're pretty, like when you tell someone that they're beautiful, that embodies inside out. That basically means that it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. It's about who you are, and that radiates out and makes you beautiful. I feel like pretty is kind of like dainty. It's kind of like, as a masculine, like she's so pretty, I just want to take care of her. Like she's so pretty, like I just want to be delicate with her and treat her right, and like treat her special, you know. Sexy could mean I'm just lusting after her, you know. Hot can just mean oh yeah, like I objectify her. But I feel almost like pretty is like its own special category. You don't really hear people say that very often. And I feel like him being the quote unquote casual gentleman that he is, just being like, yeah, she's pretty, I just feel like that's more his speed. That's more his personality. I think he likes what you do. You kind of give off, Amy, you give off like cheerleader vibes a little bit too for him. So I don't know if it's like ribbons in the hair, if it's like cute skirts, what it is, but it's like you kind of, like he could see you at a sock hop, you know? Like I feel like you could totally fit in the 50s with your like cute little poodle skirt and like a ribbon in your hair. I don't know how to explain that. But he feels, maybe he's telling me that that you've got like an old fashioned way about you. You have like an old fashioned style. Like you could fit in every different type, like multiple different types of like time periods. Like he doesn't specifically think of you as like, oh, she's so modern, she's so 2020, like 2024 or whatever, 2025, whatever the fuck year we're in. Like he feels like you have the pulse on multiple different genres, multiple different generations, multiple different time periods, things like that. Like you could fit in multiple different countries. Like you kind of just like have this way about you that seems a little otherworldly, I would say. You love constant jokes and riffs and play on ideas and jokes. Not gonna lie, Luke is like a big boy teddy bear. You feel small in his arms. Aw. Funny enough, you told him today. Wait, what? You told him you're listening to 50s jazz, 40s, 50s? Oh my God, that's so crazy. Yeah, like you just give that traditional vibe, that old school vibe to you. That's kind of wild that I literally said the 50s and you okay. So clearly I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in. But I would say he's attracted to you. He's the kind of person. Does he wear cowboy hats? Cuz I have here the Knight of Cups in like this picture. I'll put it up on the screen. It's like this guy has his hat off and like a bouquet of flowers. Almost like he's a gentleman as well. You know how like back in the day when someone was courting a woman and they like met them, then they would take their hat off to show like a form of respect for that person. That's kind of what this is looking like in this picture. It's like gentleman, like you get what I mean when I show you this on the screen. Is it's like he's just a gentleman. And this is the card also of romance as well. So I would say physically, he's into your whole look. He's into your whole vibe. Specifically, the way that you style yourself, he really likes. Your body is beautiful. He likes your feminine curves. But you know what? I think that he's averting his attention away from your physicality because he's like, I want to get to know her and who she is. And I think that's actually really sweet as well. It doesn't mean that down the line he's not going to like want to rip your clothes off. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that maybe right now that's not the focus for him. He has a cowboy hat. Yeah, so that's what I've got, girl. It was kind of a loaded question, so do me a favor, like next time, if we're gonna do like think, view, feel, and like physicality and all of that, do me a favor and send an in-depth reading instead. Because when we ask like multiple questions like that, it does tend to take a little bit more of my time. But hopefully that answers your question. IJ, if you're here, you can post if you're ready for your in-depth reading. You said, right, like, I don't know if I pursue just because Crystal has told me, like, what his political standpoints are. Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's tough. You're welcome, Amy. I mean, I've definitely seen people who get married and they have different political views. But I think that if you are very much like very strongly opposing and unopen to hearing the other person's point of view, that's going to be a lot of conflict. Like, for example, my husband and I, we don't really feel strongly either way. There are a lot of things I feel strongly about, and he just basically concedes and agrees because he knows that it's not his place to have an opinion. Like, for example, women's rights and our own autonomy over our body. He's like, yeah, I support that. Especially like if we have, you know, a daughter one day or something. But he's like, he doesn't feel super strongly either way. And that's what makes our connection work really well, I think. But, you know, if Luke is like really strong on one side and you're really strong on the other, that's gonna be tough. But like I said, if he's able to be open to hearing your side of things, it's not a full-on deal breaker. You just have to know that like you would be supported in that connection. So All right, girl. Well, you're very welcome. I hope you have a good rest of your night. This is for IJ. You're welcome, Amy. Get good sleep tonight. What does she want me to know the status of things now between us? Okay, let's see. IJ, I'm going to apologize in advance. I've been yawning a lot tonight. I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. I woke up at 10 in the morning, so that was about 6 hours of sleep. And then I took a nap tonight, but I just can't seem to get it together. Ooh, Amy, that sounds good. What kind of dessert? All right, what does she want you to know? What does she want you to know? Status of things between them. What does she want him to know? Oh, wow, this is actually kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. Tell me this picture doesn't kind of look like you without the glasses. Hold on, let me pull it up. It's like giving IJ vibes a little bit. I don't know if you've seen the Lightseers, the Emperor and the Lightseers tarot. But there's just like something about this picture that kind of reminds me of you a little bit. All right, so I have this card. And then I also have, give me 1 second. King of Wands, Lightseers Tarot. Now the Emperor is in reverse. I also have this card. You see it a little bit, right? Like, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Then I also have this card. Now, the Emperor is in reverse. And we also have the Eight of Wands, which is basically just like a woman with a bun in her hair. And she's like sitting there kind of getting to work, I suppose you could say. With the Emperor in reverse, that makes me feel like she views you as husband material. And I know that I have said in the past where it's like she views you as like, you're not boyfriend, you're not fiance, you're husband. Because I think that she understands the caliber of and the value of which you add to someone's life. And the way that you take lead, the way that you take leadership. Because the Emperor is in reverse, it indicates to me that there's still some type of disconnect between what she wants and feels versus the action she's taking towards you, unfortunately. I really, really like your connection, IJ, with her. I feel inspired by your connection with her. It feels very unconditional, very loving, very sweet. And it definitely feels like the makings of a power couple and the makings of creating and building a life and maybe creating an empire or legacy. And I think that's why I feel so supportive of your connection. With that being said, there is a part of me as your reader that I don't enjoy that she keeps going in and out with you, like in and out of connection. Like, I feel as though at this point you guys should have made like you should have been able to ground it at this point. Like, I feel like you guys should have already been out on a date or two, maybe even working towards something more serious. And while you're not in any hurry, and while maybe it doesn't matter to you, or maybe you don't care, or maybe it does bother you a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, I feel like this feels almost like it should have already come to pass. And I think that's what I'm having a hard time with, is the fact that why is she not pursuing this in a more serious way? So when I ask that question, I have the Four of Swords. So this indicates to me that her heart is on a break. She's basically, it's kind of showing a picture of her being like in a nest, and her heart is right next to her, and she's almost like she doesn't want to feel the feelings that come associated with having a relationship. Like, she desires for her in the future, but it seems almost like she isn't quite ready for that in the now or something. Like, I'm going to pull up the picture on the screen so you can see. So this is like the picture. When I ask why, and I say, why does she not pursue anything with him? This is the picture that I see. So it's like her heart is not even in her body right now. It's like her focus and her attention is not on her emotions, and it's not thinking about a relationship. It's not thinking about a connection with someone. It's not thinking about pursuing romance or anything of the sort. She's resting, and her heart is next to her, and she's got her eyes closed to it, and she's like, not for me, not right now. So that's the part that kind of sucks. Let me see if I can pull up another one. Maybe it'll pull up on here. Nope, guess not. All right, so then we also have this card. And it's almost like she's like, I can't really think about this right now. Like, it's just it's not in my wheelhouse of focus, and it's not something that I'm looking for. And so what worries me, I guess, about this connection is that if she's going to continue down this path, how much longer is it going to take for you guys to ground this connection, in the 3D? Like, and how long are you going to wait? So I think, just to be really real, she hasn't progressed as much as I would have hoped for her. I think that when we do channeled messages, she says a lot of really great, sweet things. And I think it's because she truly thinks extremely highly of you. And I think that when she thinks about you, it's very warm, and it's very happy, and it's very positive. And I think that you've been nothing but a great addition to her life in terms of feeling that support from you. But I feel like she says, I can't really offer you more than what I am, despite my attraction for you, despite maybe feeling like you could fit that category for me of a relationship down the line. It's not where I'm at. I've got a lot that I'm focused on right now, and I'm distracted, but That's kind of the vibe that I get from her, unfortunately. So it's like, I guess the question for you then is, do you just keep waiting? Do you just live your life and potentially see if you can meet someone new or someone different, and then whatever's meant to be will be? Or do you take a break from this and come back to it later? Like, I guess what the question for you is like, what do you want to do? Because if I could predict the future and say it's going to be at least a year before anything happens between you guys with the way this energy is that okay with you? Is that something that you would be fine with? Do you only want a relationship because you want it with her? Or do you want a relationship just in general, hoping that it would be her? Maybe potentially still will be one day, but you don't want to keep holding off because, this has been going on for quite some time. So, Lonnie, my free list is closed for the night. You're more than welcome to donate. I think she wants you to know that she's in the mindset of independence. 9 of Pentacles. She wants you to know that she's more focused on her own life and that relationship isn't of a priority to her at this time. I think that if she was going to consider dating, I think you would be, on that list for her. But I think that that's kind of, it's like she's not even really looking anywhere at all right now. I almost feel, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to speak this into existence, but I almost feel like too, she could potentially have one more toxic relationship before she even opens up to the idea of being with you too, because she wants healthy. She wants a connection with someone where it's oh, we're building a life together and we're creating a legacy, and I know what I want, know I'm looking for, and I want kids and things like that. But I think that there's a little bit of healing left that still needs to be done. And she might potentially go after someone else that's all wrong for her just because she has a little bit of a lesson to still learn. It would be very, very short-lived if that happened. But I feel like I'm meant to tell you that if you happen to see her with someone else on, for instance, Instagram, she posts her with someone else, I don't want you to be upset about that because that's going to be very short-lived. I don't think that's something that's going to last for a long time, but I feel like there's a possibility of that, for her to kind of get something else out of her system, because what the problem is that she wants emotional unavailability right now. And you're offering emotional availability. She's saying, I'm not emotionally available, therefore I'd find someone who's also emotionally unavailable because that's safe. I feel almost like she's not 100% ready to face, she's not ready to face her age. She's not ready to face the fact that she's a single woman. She's always been career oriented, career motivated. I would say that I think when she hits 50, we're really going to be looking at a completely different Natalia. I think that that's going to kind of hit her like a ton of bricks. So maybe she's thinking to herself, I still have time. I'll figure this out later. But at the same time, I think that it's always going to be in the back of her mind that she's getting older. And this poor girl, I feel like she just tries to achieve so much. She puts a lot of pressure on herself to try to do too much. There might have even been times in her life where she thought to herself, oh, I'll just be celibate. Like, she might have even thought to herself, that's okay. Like, I'll just be single and I'll be on my own. I know my husband told me that once. He said that he kind of thought that he would just be alone forever. Like, and he was fine with that. He's like, yeah, I was okay with that idea. It's, you know, like, it's not necessarily something that I wanted exactly. But he was like, before I met you, I kind of just thought maybe being single would have just been my life. And I was like, that is the saddest like thought that I could ever think of. Like, that existence is just so sad to me. And he was like, well, before I met you, like, it sounded fine. Like, at the same time, he met me, you know, when he was in his late 20s, so maybe there's a difference there. But it kind of makes me wonder if that's how she is. If she's like, you know, if I'm single for a while, it's fine. Like, I'll become a mom by myself if I have to. Like, you get what I mean? I know you said not mad at that. Like, I don't know. I think maybe I'm more frustrated than you are. I feel like I just want her to kind of get the ball going. Like, I want her to realize that she doesn't have to have it all figured out, and that maybe her dreams are better than the plans that she has for herself. Maybe the dreams that are designed for her are going to be even bigger than what she could have ever imagined. And she's just so strict to her regiment. She's so strict to her plan that I think she misses out on a lot of life. And it's to her detriment, I feel. She's so focused on healing and being fully healed, and that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a very self-aware thing. But I think too much of something can also be bad for you. And I think that if she focuses too much on healing, she loses sight of the joy in the everyday moments. And if she focuses too much on healing and is like, oh, I need to be healed before I meet someone, then she's never going to meet someone, because guess what? We're never fully healed in this life. We always will have healing to do somewhere. And so that's not realistic. And so I just hope that she's not putting all her eggs in the one basket and like closing off opportunities and like shutting her eyes to her heart, as I said, and shutting her eyes to other opportunities such as you that Spirit is putting in her path to live a more fulfilling life. So, long story short, I think that she is just in a place where she's like, I can't offer more than friendship right now or companionship to IJ. And that's for the foreseeable future. So, I don't know. Do with that what you will, my friends. Yeah, you're welcome, IJ. Alright guys, that is it for the night. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. I will be back tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.